JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, cops say St. James community is relieved after wanted man killed. A senior police officer in St. James says residents of Barrytown and Springmount are breathing a sigh of relief after lawmen cut down a wanted man who once terrorized both communities. The citizens have been dying to see the back of Mutombo. He terrorized the communities of Barrytown and Springmount, and the residents are now relieved to see the end of this tyrant. Superintendent of Police in charge of operations in St. James, Aaron Samuel, said. He was referring to Springmount resident O'Shane Earl, otherwise called Mutombo, who was killed in Goshen, St. Elizabeth on Wednesday evening during what police have said was an armed confrontation with members of the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime CTOT division of the police force. Earl was wanted for at least 7 murders, including a double murder in Barrytown in September and the shooting death of a farmer in Springmount earlier this year. Reports are that a 14-year-old girl was rescued unhurt and an illegal gun seized during the operation in which Earl was fatally shot. Samuels credited a recent push by the police force for Earl's demise. Our relentless efforts on the Operation Relentless tool at the target led to this, and we're so happy with this success, he said. He has also put other criminals on notice that lawmen will be coming for them. He referenced Anthony Angus, otherwise called Tony, who is wanted in connection with last month's shooting death of 2 men in York Bush, St. James. We are going for all other wanted individuals. We won't be letting up, Samuels warned. Kingston Technical High student charged with murder remanded until November 9. The Kingston Technical High student charged over the stabbing death of another was further remanded today. When the matter was called up in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court this morning, Presiding Judge Fiona Gregory was told that a post-mortem report as well as statements are outstanding from the case file. The 17-year-old accused, who has been represented by attorney at law Kimberly Whitaker, was ordered to return to court on November 9. This was her first court appearance since the incident last week. The student is accused of stabbing 16-year-old Michelle Campbell to death on September 29. It is reported that both students had an argument which turned physical and a knife was then brought into play. Campbell was stabbed in the neck. She was rushed to hospital where she was pronounced dead. The accused teen was arrested and later charged with murder. 4 shot, 2 fatally in Flanker, St. James. 4 men were shot, 2 fatally, following an attack in Flanker, St. James on Thursday night. The deceased have been identified as 34-year-old laborer Bobby Campbell and 18-year-old Omar Warren, unemployed, both of Kodak Lane address Flanker. Reports are that about 9:30 p.m., the men were at a shop on Kodak Lane when they were ambushed and attacked by armed men. The gunmen escaped in a waiting motor car. The police were summoned. 2 men were pronounced dead at hospital and the other 2 admitted in critical condition. PM tours here in Bernard Lodge where houses were being demolished. Prime Minister Andrew Holness visited the community near Clifton in Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine on Friday morning. Holness toured the area day after crews demolished about 10 illegal structures on lands that are under the purview of the Sugar Company of Jamaica, SCJ Holdings, and are designated for agricultural purposes. Prime Minister Holness told Parliament on Wednesday that gangsters had been selling the lands under pretext of ownership or building on them. Speaking with residents in the area Friday morning, the Prime Minister acknowledged their fears regarding the demolition, but reassured them that they would not be left out. He explained to them that the informal community was without the proper infrastructure, including road network, water and sewer lines, and appealed for them to allow development to take place in a structured way.
I am a builder. I don't like to lick down things. All I have been telling people to do is build. But we cannot build illegally. I can see, the roads are not properly aligned and some boundaries may have to be adjusted. But I am aware that the SCJ, that is the Sugar Company of Jamaica, is putting in place a program or has put in place a program to regularize. Some of you would have been given letters of possession.
Yes, we did.
The SCJ has literally gone and surveyed the land and they have subdivided it and they are in possession of titles. And we shall come back in a few weeks' time to actually distribute your titles.
Gun found under debris in Kingston. A team of officers assigned to the Kingston Western Police Division seized 1 illegal gun and 6 rounds of ammunition during a joint police-military operation on Torrington Lane, Kingston on Thursday, October 6. Reports from the Denham Town Police are that about 10:50 p.m., lawmen in the area, when a section of the community was searched, 1.3 Smith & Wesson Springfield revolver containing 6 rounds of ammunition was found under debris. No one was arrested in relation to this seizure. The investigation continues. Kingston Central lockup, 2 jailbreaks 10 months apart. 10 months after Orville Purnell escaped from the lockup at Kingston Central Police Station, another detainee, Rudolph Shaw, otherwise called Boxer, was on the St. Catherine Police's most wanted list, followed suit on Thursday, triggering a high-level probe and embarrassment for the constabulary. The probe was ordered by Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, was tasked the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau with the job to investigate the matter. Preliminary investigations have revealed that Shaw was released from his cell to take a shower approximately 5:15 a.m. Around 6:30 a.m., the 36-year-old was missing. Checks revealed that an air vent leading to his cell had been cut, and it is suspected that he escaped through that opening. Shaw had been in custody since July 27. He was featured prominently on the St. Catherine North and South Police Division's most wanted list. He was captured in the Cayman Islands on July 8 and deported to Jamaica. Shaw is accused of the murder of 59-year-old Wilfred O'Connor, otherwise called Straight, and Clinton Davis, otherwise called Oni, 60, both of St. John's Wood addresses in St. Catherine. He was charged with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of wounding with intent, illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, and absconding bail. The police have issued an advisory informing the public that Shaw is a dangerous man, that safe haven should not be provided for him, and that it is an offense to harbor a fugitive. They further advised that anyone who comes across him should call the police immediately. On December 1, 2021, Purnell's escape from the Kingston Central Police lockup left the constabulary humiliated after it was alleged that he offered cops and inmates $3 million to assist him in breaking free. Purnell, who was facing extradition to St. Lucia to answer a murder charge, boasted that he would escape. A source revealed that an inmate who had been serving as a jailer reported that the key for the cell block in which Purnell was being held had gone missing. The police knew that no attempt was made to change the lock, and no investigation was launched to find the missing key. But there are many people who had access to that bunch of keys, including a recently convicted inmate who served as a jailer and was given a run of the place, even setting duties to the police, the source said at the time. He added that it was obvious that this man had his escape plan, but still nothing was done. The camera shows that the day before he escaped, he gave away all his personal belongings, including clothes, shoes, toiletries, and snacks to fellow inmates. The man just pulled his cell and left the custody of the police without anyone knowing who collected the $3 million that he had offered, or if he paid more than that. Court told Donnelly Donaldson and Maitland argued over photo. Embattled Police Constable Noel Maitland, who was charged with murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse, reportedly told detectives that he and his presumed dead girlfriend Donnelly Donaldson had an argument at his Chelsea Manor apartment in New Kingston on July 12 before she went missing. Donaldson was reported missing on July 13th by her mother, and cops theorized that she was killed on July 12 between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Relying heavily on circumstantial evidence, detectives charged Maitland in August. During a bail hearing on Tuesday in the Supreme Court, the prosecution said Maitland had indicated in a statement that he and Donaldson argued over a photograph of his child's mother, which he had in his apartment. Though there were no eyewitnesses to a murder and a body has not yet been found, the prosecution said the absence of a body does not prevent them from asserting that Donaldson is dead. "We're being mindful that we have not passed that threshold of a year and a day," the prosecutor said. "Based on the evidence, we believe that this is a strong circumstantial evidence case. While we can't prove motive, there is evidence not just from friends and family members of Miss Donaldson, but the accused man has asserted that he was involved in an intimate relationship with Miss Donaldson and another female with whom he has a child," the prosecutor added. According to the prosecutor, there is video evidence that coincides with accounts from Donaldson's mother, Sophia Logg. There is video evidence of the accused arriving at his Chelsea Manor apartment after midnight on the morning of July 12, 2022. At the time, he was driving his BMW motor car, and a female is visible in the front passenger seat. This observation coincides with Miss Logg's account that it was the accused man who picked up her daughter on the night of the 11th and also coincides with the accused man's account given in his witness statement that he picked her up at her home and took her to his. Based on these accounts and the video footage viewed by the neighbor and technician, the coroner is asking the court to accept that at this stage that it was Donnelly Donaldson who accompanied the accused man to his home and arrived there in the early morning of July 12, 2022. In court on Tuesday was Maitland's father and Sophia Lugg, the mother of Donaldson. When the session was adjourned for lunch, Lugg waited on Maitland to be handcuffed in the prisoner's dock by police, and as he was being led out of court, she followed his every move with her eyes. With tears welling in her eyes, she shook her head from left to right and told the woman who had accompanied her that she has always treated him like her son. Joy and relief as two Kingston Central residents get new homes. Julia Rogers was overcome with emotion on Thursday, being one of two recipients of a two-bedroom home valued at under $6 million each under the government's Indigent Housing Solution Program. The resident of Fleet Street in Kingston Central expressed gratitude to Member of Parliament Donovan Williams, who she said made this possible for her, never ceasing to push for a proper home for her and her family. Rogers said that she was often worried about her living conditions, but Williams would always reassure her that she would see better days. She said that the wooden structure which she previously inhabited was not ideal for her and her three relatives. She added that whenever it rained, the home became very messy as water leaked into the dwelling. "Oh, God made this possible for me, because the way things did stay, I couldn't live, I couldn't stay in it. The rain would come with me, and I don't know how would I manage," she said. Rogers paused during a vote of thanks to lift her hands to the heavens, thanking God for a change in fortune as the government handed over the home, which has 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a dining area and a kitchen. She's looking forward to a much more comfortable space, especially since the new home was built with reinforced concrete. Like Rogers, Lloyd Lowe and Juliet Cross, who are siblings and residents of Barry Street, were overjoyed at receiving a new home on Thursday, as this allows them to move out of a rat-infested wooden structure. "It did bad, man, very bad," Lowe said of the previous living conditions, which housed 5 individuals in 3 bedrooms. "Me feel good," Cross said. In his remarks, local government Minister Desmond McKenzie said that more than 40 housing units have been constructed within the corporate area under the program. He noted that although the government has handed over 2 units so far within Kingston Central, funds are allocated for the construction of an additional 3. There's a need for serious social intervention in Central Kingston, and for a constituency and for an area that for many years have been loyal. It speaks poorly to those who were at the steering wheel before," he said. He noted that road rehabilitation will have to be looked at as well, acknowledging that the island's road network was in a bad state. MP Williams and Kingston Mayor Delroy Williams both spoke about the need for transformation of Central Kingston, saying that the communities in downtown Kingston had gone unnoticed by the government. "We have plans for Central Kingston," the MP declared. Mayor Williams said that the capital city would see a change, even if it appeared to be slow-moving, that Kingston would soon be developed into a destination and tourism city. With this in mind, he said that housing is critical, as meaningful transformation could not occur without paying attention to such needs. Provide proper housing solutions is something that any government must be committed to and take pride in, he said. Archangel Gabriel returns to court January 2023. The case involving Andrew Ruddock, who was accused of murdering 39-year-old Tanika Gardner in October last year at Pathways International Kingdom of Restorative Ministries in St. James, has been pushed to January 11, 2023. During a case management hearing on Thursday in the Supreme Court, it was revealed that a case file was not ready, as defense lawyers and the prosecution were engaged in discussions in the matter. The presiding judge adjourned the matter, and Ruddock, who attended Wednesday's hearing via video link, was ordered to be physically present in court on January 11. On October 17 last year, Ruddock allegedly slashed the throat of Gardner during a supposed sacrificial ritual. Ruddock was allegedly ordained by the now deceased leader of the church, Kevin Smith, as Archangel Gabriel on the night of the murder. Pastor Smith reportedly told all the members of the church to attend the ritual service dressed in white and to expect to board an ark. Smith allegedly told a member of the church to slash the throat of Gardner, but the member refused. Ruddock allegedly took the knife and carried out the pastor's desire. Ruddock is being represented by attorney at law Anthony Williams and Venice Brown. Smith died in a motor vehicle accident in Church Road in Bogwalk, St. Catherine. In sports news, Matthews 15 vain as West Indies lose finale. Captain Haley Matthews struck her 6th T20 international century, but that was the only highlight for hapless West Indies women as they slumped to a 5-wicket defeat of the last delivery of the final T20 international against New Zealand women yesterday. In a series that has been littered by tense final over finishes, the finale at the Vivian Richards Cricket Ground proved no different. Player of the match, Mandy Green, scampering a single off the final ball to help her side overall a modest target of 102. New Zealand won the 5-match series 4-1. The 29-year-old right-hander was the hero, top scoring with an unbeaten 32 from 29 balls with 2 fours, while Amelia Carr chipped in with 25 and veteran captain Sophie Devine 23. Matthews had earlier shown with 56 from 54 balls, but unfortunately was the only player to reach double figures as West Indies women struggled to 101 for 8 of their 20 overs after they were sent in. In reply, New Zealand women started well when Devine posted 25 for the first wicket with Bates 13 before 3 wickets fell for 17 runs in the space of 20 balls. However, Green came to her side's rescue, putting on 37 for the 4th wicket with Carr to repair the damage. In the end, the target should have been a straightforward one, with New Zealand women needing 8 runs from the last 2 overs, but off-spinner Shanita Grimmond sent down an excellent penultimate over, which cost only 3 runs, setting up a nervy final over. On to football news. Perfect Stats hoping to end season undefeated. St. Elizabeth Technical High Stats are one of only 2 schools, the other is William Knibb High, to not only have a perfect win record, but not to concede any goals so far in the first round of the Issa da Costa Cup football competition, and captain and central defender Dante Campbell is hoping they can take this fine record into the second round. Head and shoulders above the Chasing Park, Stats sit atop Zone E with 21 points. The Santa Cruz Bay Stats are 10 points clear of parish rivals Monroe College, and the race of the second automatic qualifying spot is certainly on because only 3 points separate the next 4 in the Chasing Park. Defending starts from the front, so it takes a team effort to get clean sheets. The boys are giving it their all and we want to keep that going, Campbell said. For us, 3 points are the most important thing. It's the same back 4 from last year, but we're still learning. We hope to keep getting better and maintain the clean sheets, he added. Winning a football competition at the level of the Costa Cup without conceding a goal would be a tall ask, but Campbell is hoping it's a feat they can manage to achieve. We want to go through the entire competition without conceding. That's the goal. Our season is going good so far, and it's a young team that is still learning. Our aim is to win the competition come the end of the season, Campbell said. Stats will be looking to extend their lead and had another clean sheet when they host Sydney Pagan STEM Academy in Santa Cruz tomorrow. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.